Out. What's up, everybody? You are tuned into the season 2 finale of the 2024 SD nominated show, The Elks Call, presented by Shotgun Sports Network. My name is Scout, aka the rep from Section X.
And I'm Catherine, aka Do You Even Elks?
And we have our final stack show up ahead for everybody. Now, first off, the Toronto Argonauts won the Grey Cup.
Yeah. Yay.
111th. Oh, that was wrong one. There we go. Massive. So, I mean, the Grey Cup was fun. Wild game, right, Kathy?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a really... It was an interesting game. It was a good game to watch live.
It was awesome. We're going to talk about it here in a minute, but I will say that we had a blast. It was really cool. Enjoying a neutral game for once. That was the first one I got to enjoy.
It's a different experience for sure. You know, you go in and you go like, yay, sports. But then you always end up cheering for one.
Yay sports team, right?
Yay sports team.
And I mean, saw a lot of great fellow fans as well. That was really cool. You really did feel CFL family. But let's dig into it here in just a moment. For our guest for today's show, it's actually you, the viewer. You are our guest tonight. So very excited. We have a massive guest lined up for our holiday special, which is right around the corner. Very excited about that. Can't announce who the guest is quite yet, but let's just say it's somebody we had a great convo with at Grey Cup in Vancouver. So, that's in the works. We will see what happens with that. Would announce that within the week. Now, we're going to get the show started in just a moment, but first, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, whether you're watching on our YouTube, which is Shotgun Sports Network, or on Facebook, which would be The Elks Herd, or wherever, if you're listening, you're probably listening on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Edmonton Sports Talk, or wherever you get your podcasts. So, we salute you. And also, while we're here, if you could hit the like, subscribe, or favorite button, we would greatly appreciate it. All right. Tonight on the season finale of The Elks Call, we're going to open up with some Shotgun Sports Network announcements. Then we're going to do a Grey Cup recap talking about our experience in Vancouver for the 111th Grey Cup. Next, we'll dig into the Herd Report talking about the latest Edmonton Elks news and transactions. Following the Herd Report, we're going to give you an Edmonton sports update, and then we're going to cap the show with the Fan Forum, where we discuss hot topics surrounding the Elks, the CFL, and the sports world as a whole. Be sure to blow up the Herd chat so you can get your comments and questions onto the show. All right. Announcements. Today's announcements are brought to you by Puck and Pigskin. Jason Basic covers all things Stamps, CFL, Calgary Flames, and NHL over on Puck and Pigskin. So go check him out every Tuesday live on Shotgun Sports. I believe he's on vacation. He might be back, so we might be seeing an episode of PMP next week, which is always exciting. That Dirk Dennis episode, I'm still thinking about it. All right, so first of all, of course, stay tuned to shotgunsportsnetwork.ca for our latest sports articles. We have some new authors that have joined the team, which means more coverage, so do check out the site for more content. The 2024 Elks Call Holiday Special will be announced soon. I believe I want to say December 17th.
Or 19th.
December 17th or 19th. It's going to be one of those two. I believe we said December 18th.
We had said that.
But there's a conflicting schedule issue there. So
that's your holiday party.
So gonna have to do that. And unfortunately, I can't reschedule that.
No.
But we can reschedule the holiday special. So very, very exciting. We intend to make this a yearly tradition of giveaways and fun for CFL fans and Edmonton sports fans as a whole. This event will feature giveaways from ourselves and our partners. So if you've been shopping with Shotgun Sports and you might like a couple of these gifts, today we will be giving away one of these very cool Team CFLPA All-Star hats by Royal Retros. So once again, Royal Retros, they're a big supporter of our show and Shotgun Sports Network.
It is a really nice hat.
Oh, very, very nice. We
It
were
is.
lucky to get a couple of these for giveaway while we were in Vancouver.
It's a shame that I can't pull off the flat brim hat, or I would keep one for myself. But yes, very nice.
You ain't hood enough for the flat brim, okay?
No. Listen, when the Mexican comes out, I'll get hood. But
Is it Cholita? Cholita? How's it go?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So if you want one of these, you're gonna have to wait
Mhm.
for our commercial break. We may have a little bit more than one to give away at the holiday special as well. So if you do not win this hat, you will be able to try again on the holiday special. So
Mhm.
yeah, and I mean, these are really cool. The Team CFLPA All-Star hats, they are very sweet. We're going to be, well, at least I'm going to be wearing one on the holiday special.
I'm not hood enough, apparently.
You ain't hood enough to pull it off,
I
Kathy.
see. I can't even say ain't. Anyways.
Yeah, once again, if you do want to win this CFLPA All-Star hat, wait until our commercial break.
Mhm.
It is a couple segments away. Next, the Elks Call will be resuming in January 2025 on a monthly basis. There's not a whole ton of news, but we do have free agency coming up. That's a big deal.
Mhm.
Lots of players to potentially re-sign for the Edmonton Elks, and a lot of players up for grabs.
Mhm.
You know, Cody Fajardo news all of a sudden.
Well, we'll talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it. We do, yes, we that is part of our segment coming up, right? So there is a lot to talk about in the off season. It's just that it's not as frequent as obviously what we're dealing with in season. So yeah, we're all of our shows on the monthly basis, they are going to be specials, as we've said on the last episode. So, and then of course our regular programming will be returning in April for training camp.
Yes.
Gonna be a pretty fun time. Mike Stud in the Herd Chat. Thank you, Elks Herd, for all your awesome shows and all the other things you did for the Elks and us fans for the 2024 season. Hey, we're thankful for yourself, for what you do over in the Facebook group, Mike. You guys are awesome. All fan opinion matters. We all know that.
That's why we do this.
That's why we do this. And the Edmonton football fans, this community, people care. People care. If you have an opinion, it means you care. So, there's a lot of great opinions out there on that group. There's a lot of great people in there. And no matter what, having those forums, whether it be elksherd.ca, which is not related to the Elks Herd whatsoever, but got to give a shout out to Phil and those folks over there. They do great. They've been, basically doing what we're doing for many years. Same deal with the Facebook group. Yeah, we could go on for days, right? But we have a great fan community. So thanks, Mike. Really appreciate the comment. But yeah, I mean, it takes all of us, right? Getting back to it though, I think we got a Grey Cup to talk about.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's dig into this Grey Cup recap.
Let's do it. Sorry, I thought you were gonna read some more.
No, sorry, I was scratching my eye. I apologize. This Grey Cup recap is brought to you by Royal Retros. We don't call them the Throwback Kings for no reason. Royal Retros is your number one source for CFL throwback gear, whether it be hats, jerseys, or anything in between. As well, with the CFLPA stuff that we were just talking about, if you make a purchase, that money goes to the players, which is one of the most important pieces. Like Royal Retros has found a way to get money back into the CFLPA, which is huge.
I love it.
It's great. So if you are going to make a purchase over at Royal Retros, hey, we got you covered for a discount. Use code Shotgun Sports for 10% off your purchase. Okay, Grey Cup.
Now let's talk
about the Grey Cup. Well, yeah, that was scratch of the eye, and there was some technical difficulties. It was really good.
That was a shutdown there. That you did for a second. We just started.
I scratched my eye and I completely lost. That was weird. That's a first. That was good. Okay, so the Grey Cup. Let's talk about our adventure. Really, it's not going to be quick. Let's dig into our adventure.
Okay, well, so let's put it this way: it was your first time going to a Grey Cup outside of Edmonton,
right?
And it was my first time going to a Grey Cup in general.
Yeah.
So we were both kind of going in a little blind as to what to expect. We weren't too sure. I mean, we knew from stories from other people, of course, where we should be going,
Yeah.
what we should be doing. But it wasn't one of those things that we knew exactly what we were going to get into.
No, so I mean, to give everybody the breakdown, even from 5 months ago, 6 months ago, what, a year ago? How long ago did we plan to go to BC?
Oh my goodness.
When tickets went on sale and we had the season ticket holder pre-sale, we decided at that moment, hey, we're going to go to Grey Cup.
Yeah.
It's close enough. You had never been to Vancouver.
Mm-mm.
So that was kind of like a factor in us going as well. Plus,
Yeah.
I'd never been to a Grey Cup where Edmonton, it's in Edmonton, rival, whatever, right? That whole scenario. That's the only Grey Cup I had experienced, right? And so I was excited about this one, and I had a feeling that BC was going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the beginning of the season,
I think a lot of people were expecting BC to be in it, especially with Nathan Rourke showing up. And
correct.
Things did not go as planned, but
No.
Either way, it worked in favor of, other teams that we did see there.
Well, yeah. So it was very interesting. It ended up being Winnipeg, which that's also a team you kind of expected to be in the dance. Toronto Argonauts.
I mean, for the West, you certainly expected that.
Yeah, but in the East, I don't know if you expected Toronto Argonauts with the whole Chad Kelly fiasco this season.
Yeah, I think everybody was kind of expecting an Alouettes appearance in the
and they didn't get the deal done at home, and then the Toronto Argonauts all of a sudden were in there, right?
You just never know. It was a wild season. It was a wild CFL season that you truly didn't know who was going to make it to the Grey Cup until the very last moment.
No, exactly. So for this journey, we had woken up at 5 a.m. We jumped in the car. We went down the highway. Very tired. I think we had 4 or 5 hours sleep, right?
Yeah.
Lots of coffee.
Yeah. 13-hour drive.
Yeah. So by the time we made it to Vancouver, it was already 6:30, I want to say, by the time we made it through all the traffic and everything else.
Yeah.
And we made it into the hotel room.
Yeah. And at that point, I'm like, holy, you're telling me that I have to pregame a little bit. I have to hop on a bus to go downtown Vancouver and go meet a whole bunch of people. What am I? 20? I am not anymore. So I was already exhausted at that point, let me tell you.
Well, okay, so to be frank, it was $400 a night to stay close to downtown Vancouver. And we stayed a little bit far out, like a 45-minute bus ride, half an hour to 45-minute bus ride. But then with the walk and the rain and everything else on any given day, it was pretty soggy.
I feel like we do that to ourselves too. We usually are those kinds of people that we're like, oh yeah, that's an adventure. That should be fine.
That's exactly it.
Everywhere we go, we're like, oh, we'll walk. We'll take the train. I mean, we obviously didn't want to take our car because of traffic and parking and all of that situation.
Beverages and stuff, yeah. Responsibility.
We're like that. We're like, oh, we'll make it an adventure. And then we get there, and the adventure is cold and wet and
soggy, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious. So that was a blast. It was like a fever dream on the Thursday night. We went for Spirit of Edmonton night, and the tradition as it stands, every year at Grey Cup, you go to Spirit of Edmonton to go party with all your fellow EE fans and CFL fans. And really, I mean, Spirit of Edmonton was bumping the whole time. Spirit of Edmonton was definitely our landing spot whenever we were in the team headquarters, which is the team headquarters area. So that was good. So on Thursday night, we actually did tear it up, ran into Section O, the X's and O's connect once again. We got some Grey Cup pins. I think right away he ended up hooking it up with Grey Cup pins. Once again, a tradition. If you see Matt Machado, Section O, go find him. Go get your Grey Cup pin. Go get your first one.
There's a lot of those, actually. That's another thing that I found out, that there's a lot of exchanges of pins from people. That's just their tradition. That's what they do. They run into other people that have pins, and they exchange their pins, and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and it's an older tradition. It's like when we go to Toronto and they have Argonauts pins, and they're trying to rope you in and pass you some pins and this and that. It's really cool. I like that tradition. I don't think we do it quite enough in Edmonton. Section O is fantastic at it.
Yeah, there's a few. There were people out there that their entire getup was pins.
Was pins, yeah. Dead Goat Society was out there. Shout out Dead
Yes.
Goat Society.
So that was cool.
Yeah, you saw pretty much everybody in night one. I don't believe we talked. I don't know if I ran into a couple people from the Elks. Shout out Ryan Jago. Shout out our boy Carter.
Right.
Got to see them and kind of shoot the breeze a little bit there, but I don't know if that was Thursday or Friday. That's where things get a little bit blurry because you're so tired from driving 12 hours down the highway.
Yeah.
So like I said, Thursday was kind of like a fever dream, but Friday was really good. Friday, the festival, we went down to the festival. The air was a little bit crisp.
That was, and it was a good timing to go do that because Saturday was pouring outside. So
Yeah.
I'm really, it's one of those situations that you wonder how that affects the festival in itself, right? Because do people still? Well, I guess people are paying for the tickets, so they'll still go out.
But people were really pissed that
yeah.
on Saturday you couldn't do any of the festival activities
No.
because it was rained out. Now the lineup for the zip line, hours. If you
like
wanted
3.5 hours to 4 hour wait.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's crazy.
Oh, it was wild. The zip line did, like, that whole lineup did not stop.
Yeah.
So anyways, we ended up doing all these activities. We got to do the little combine that they had out there, or they had like drills or whatever, right? A mini turf, which was really cool. That was a lot of fun. They did manage to snap some pictures, which is always great.
It sucks, I know a fella, friend over there that she absolutely hates having her picture taken because every single picture doesn't necessarily look the greatest. And that's on my case. There's, Scout with his pictures. He looks so cool. And then he's putting them as profile pictures. And then there's my picture. I'm like, holy.
Come on. No, you were actually in better action than I was. I was sticking my tongue out as I was throwing a football. So
whatever.
I didn't exactly look glamorous either, but
it was fun. Just for the entire CFL out there to see. But it was fun.
Hey, it was a blast. They also had tons of giveaways as well.
Yeah.
They were giving away like huge tins. You could win a giant tin of Old Dutch chips. Multiple discounts. Their partners got all in on it. It was really cool to see that. And also, that was the first time you saw a street shut down for football.
Yeah, but even then, I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting it to be bigger, and like once again, I went in there not having any sort of expectation. Right, I didn't know what to expect, but at the same time, I imagined what a festival like that would be. Now, this might just be the city itself, because one of the things that we noticed, and it just ties to the visibility of CFL, I think, is that it wasn't until the moment that we got to that street, really, or maybe a few streets away from the festival, that we actually did see a lot of people wearing their colors, wearing their jerseys, wearing everything, their CFL gear. Outside of that, with the buses that we were taking, the walking that we were doing, there was no CFL presence anywhere in that city outside of that little corner where the festival was.
Yeah, no, and I mean, with us being 30-minute bus ride away, a 30-minute bus ride away, it was kind of interesting to see how there was zero spirit out in that end.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you got closer, as soon as you got within like a 5 to 10 minute walking radius, you could see all the CFL fans.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's just me being used to Edmonton and kind of the presence of some of the sports teams in Edmonton, right? Whether it is Oilers, whether it is Eskimos, like I'll be walking around and I'll see people wearing Elks or Eskimos hats, really. And I didn't see that at all in Vancouver.
No, like even West Edmonton Mall, you'll see Riders jerseys, even
100%.
randomly in the off season, right? It's different for spirit. And I mean, I would say population as well probably has a little bit to do with it.
Well, and I think it's also the demographic, right?
I mean, college, a lot of college kids
that perhaps don't really care all that much for those kinds of sports, right? So
no, but I mean, it was kind of interesting for that. Now, getting back to that Friday, it was very cool going to the CFL PAHQ. So at Mahoney's, they have an event called Tweet Up. I believe that was the event that we kind of bombed it. Little love for the CFL. Little love by Cole
just
in
a little
the
bit.
Hood chat. But I mean, the CFL PAHQ was so cool. the fact that Upper Deck was there and you can make your own
Mhm.
personalized cards. I'll tell you right now, personalized cards like that do not happen very often. Upper Deck does not set up that
Right.
stand and, you know, have a custom graphic and custom press and everything else.
Mhm.
We somehow got a set of 4 cards out of that.
We
Not
were
all in the same day.
milking that.
Well, yeah, and they also had players there too. Luch has
Yeah.
Purefoy.
Yep.
Shout out Luch has Purefoy.
Mhm.
That was probably one of the greatest conversations, and I've been like wanting it so bad. I'm sure that he would join the Elks herd for an episode. Just saying, or the Elks Call. An episode of the Elks Call. But Luch has Purefoy was a fantastic chat. Same deal with Scott Hutter. Nick Anderson, we caught him the next day at CFL PAHQ, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But overall, that was great. The food was great at Mahoney's. So it was cool to see that, and also Tweet Up. It was really special to see the social media world of CFL all in one area.
So, and that's what was cool right now in terms of events that kind of happen on every single day. The Friday was that event, the CFLPA event.
Tweet Up,
the Tweet Up as well, and kind of all together in the same area. And that was the first experience that I got about it, from seeing everybody wearing something different in one room, socializing together.
Yeah.
You have a table with, Toronto Argonauts fans, and with Saskatchewan fans, and Calgary fans, and Elks fans, and everybody sitting at this table talking to each other. And it was a lot of fun. I met so many people, so many really cool people. And yeah, I really, truly enjoyed that part of the whole experience.
Oh, totally. I mean, Joe Pritchard from Rouge, White, and Blue and the Winnipeg Terminal, he's around the corner talking to Doug of Argo's Fancast, who's, right around the corner from the Gold Man from Winnipeg Blue Bombers, that fan, the guy who wears all gold. There's so many people that you knew. Sheldon Jones, Piffle's podcast. You had Alex Dormuth wearing Birmingham Barracuda's gear.
Yeah.
I think it was actually a Matt Dunnigan jersey, if I may be honest. So it's unreal to see everybody from Marsha. Marsha was Marsha Jackson from online, from X and Facebook. She's the one who kind of gave us the tip on the Tweet Up. So it's so cool to see those. And that's an organic. That's a fan-made event. That's organic.
Yeah.
It's like CFL fans fight cancer, that event, which we did not make it into on the Saturday.
So yes, that's Saturday. It was Saturday early afternoon. And yeah, we unfortunately made it a little too late, and the lineup was just absolutely insane. But that just lets us know to get there a little bit earlier next year, whenever we go to the next Grey Cup, because that is definitely an event that you want to go and support.
Well, we closed Spirit of Edmonton the night before.
We did. We stayed until they kicked us out.
Yes, I believe we left Spirit of Edmonton at like 1 or 2 a.m. You could not get drinks anymore. The ugly lights came on.
On that note, we do have John in the chat here asking, will Spirit of Edmonton be in Winnipeg?
Ooh, and you know what? That is a great question, because from what I know and understand, Spirit of Edmonton was assisted by the Double E for this season.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what's going to happen there.
Yeah, and I mean, Spirit of Edmonton has struggled a little bit with funding in the past. I mean, that's technically not our business, but it's been aired out, right? So we do want to see Spirit of Edmonton return.
But let me tell you this, just from what I saw, because we also didn't go to the breakfast. That's a Spirit of Edmonton breakfast on Saturday morning.
Yeah, we'll be going when it's in Edmonton.
Where they do the sluice juice.
Sluice juice, yes. Sluice juice, yeah.
Pictures. To say. And from what I gathered, I saw the pictures, and it was packed.
They have an agricultural watering water water tub, yeah.
Just jugs and jugs and jugs of this.
It's crazy. And it is honestly one of the best events. Spirit of Edmonton is also, probably in my opinion, I might be biased, but the best team HQ. And from what I saw, and Ryder's House was big, or whatever they call that.
Yeah.
We
Well,
didn't even go into Stamp's house.
BC Alliance, they did have a lot
The
of really
Lions
cool
Den.
events. The
Yeah.
Lions Den. But I think we just missed them.
So,
Right.
yeah.
I mean, we like you say, we were a little biased as to where we were going, but I did hear they had a wrestling match. They
Yeah.
had, they had a few really cool events as well. So,
But when you're host city, you have to, right?
yeah, of
And
course.
especially, you know that you have a lot of your fans in town. Your fans depended on that team
Mhm.
making it to the Grey Cup. They were always going to bring the entertainment. That's
Yeah.
always part of the plan when you're a host city.
Yeah.
But,
And I also heard that the teams in the upstairs had really good parties as well. But I think that was due to the size of their areas. So now where the Spirit of Edmonton was a
Mhm.
massive room. So even when you had a really good crowd, it looked a little empty.
yeah.
So that always helps. When you want to feel like the party is bumping, you want a smaller kind of venue. You want everybody kind of close and it looks like everybody's having so much fun. When you have such large rooms, it just kind of looks a little spread out, looks a lot emptier than it actually is. So I think that did not work in the favor of some of the rooms downstairs. But
Yeah, but
still
also
good.
let's talk about the Argonauts, the Red Blacks, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats all having
Oh yeah,
a room together. That was so
that was
silly. I can't stand that.
No.
If I'm an Argonauts fan,
Exactly.
where's my place to go? I have to go party with these other two teams, which that's cool. Like, we all party together at a
Mhm.
Grey Cup. Everybody parties with everybody.
Mhm.
We were taking selfies with, Janice Owen, Janny Annie,
Mhm.
big Riders fan with her
Yeah.
daughter. And we're up in the Bombers area.
Yeah.
Taking a selfie with the Riders fan, and we're Elks fans. It's that kind of environment. It's not like
Yeah,
there's
it was
anything. It's not like there's anything wrong with that. But I want proper team representation. I knew exactly
Yeah.
where I was going.
Yeah.
We knew exactly where we were going
Yeah.
as soon as we made it to Vancouver on the bus and over to Spirit of Edmonton. So that was fantastic.
Well, to go back to that, because John also asks, all the CFL teams have official fan events, unlike Edmonton, right? So for this Grey
Yes.
Cup, the Spirit of Edmonton was the fan event.
Well, it is, but
yeah.
they're privately owned as opposed to all the other ones are
Yes, correct.
team owned.
Correct. But what I'm saying, where I was trying to get, is that might change for next year. Because
Yeah.
I do think that it was a very successful event. What they had for the breakfast and even just the parties that they
The
were
concert,
having.
they had an 80s theme.
Yeah, and they were great. And I think it was a very successful kind of event. And I don't think I would see the Elks getting rid of that. Because yet again, it's another event that brings fans together. And
Well,
that's what they want.
so the problem was that they almost won, like they almost
Funding.
Yeah, they needed funding, right? And the Double E funded them.
Yes,
but what
sure.
stops the Double E from just potentially buying the whole?
I would say
brand,
that
right?
they continue to keep it Spirit of Edmonton, but the ownership changes.
Yeah,
I could see that just because of the funding issues that they were running. I mean, it's really difficult to have sponsors that, will provide enough funding for everything that they do. So in my opinion, just from a business mind, it makes sense to partner up with the Elks and give them, majority vote or whatever, majority shares for whatever, but still be part of it as the Spirit of Edmonton.
Well, the Elks already do support a lot, right?
Mhm.
They support a lot. They obviously provide the cheerleaders whenever they need to, but that's kind of standard across all of the other team headquarters as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, very, very, very interesting, right?
Mhm.
See what happens. Oh, Marcia Jackson in the herd chat. What up, Marcia? It was so much fun hanging out with you both, be it the tweet up, at our colorful fans table at Spirit of Edmonton, or on the dance floor. Okay, so let's talk about day 3.
Yeah.
Let's
After
talk
that,
about-
so day 3 was painful because I danced so much on the Friday night that I was hurting. I was hurting. I was
You're hurting.
unit. So you were hurting me because I didn't know where to go. That's probably why we made it a little late to the CFL Fights Cancer.
Yeah, so we tried to go to CFL Fans Fight Cancer, did not work, could not get in, that's great for them. They obviously know that they will have to book bigger next time because there's some huge demand on that event. That was like the tweet up. It was very similar, and I would say more people. So that was special to see. Unfortunately, we did not get to witness too much of it. But then we went around the corner. We went elsewhere. We grabbed a beer and fish and chips and all that. And the bagpipes started playing, and the Stampeders cheerleaders were there. It was
That
just
was a social brown social house.
brown social house.
Social house.
And it's cool to once again see that spirit, right?
Yeah.
You're in the city. You want to see Grey Cup infect the place.
Definitely.
So it was really cool to see that once again. Now, after that, where did we go after that? Did we go right to the HQ? I think so.
Yeah, well, we stopped for a little tour at the library.
Oh, yeah, we went to Library Square. We swung in there.
So we just took our time, and then we eventually made it back to CFL PA, Mahoney's. And then we went to the east side of the conference.
We got to meet Nick Anderson at CFLPA
yes,
HQ, which Nick Anderson had just won Rookie of the Year the night before. So, yeah, there's another piece we're missing. Talk to Paul Lapalisse. We're walking away. We're trying to find our bus stop, and Paul Lapalisse is behind us. I think I heard him cough or something. And I look over, and I'm like, oh, dang, that's Lapo. And then I think real quick. I'm like, okay, what's not a stupid question? And I'm like, hey, Lapo, I'm like, pretty good award show or something like that, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, Nick Anderson, Rookie of the Year. I'm like, yeah, man, that was wild. I'm like, well, when you get like 111 defensive tackles and you tied Niles Morgan, Kathy's like, we got to go right now. Like, we got to go. We got to go to this bus stop. I'm like, okay, have a good one, Lapo. I'm out, right? So that was the night before. But so the next day we run into Nick Anderson, and I'm trying to get another upper deck card made. And I'm pointing to the Elks Herd jersey, and then I turn around, and Nick Anderson has his starter throwback jacket on. And he's like, hey, man, nice jersey. And I'm like, oh, Nick Anderson, no way. So him and I chopped it up. We had some good words. Him and I got a custom card together. He signed it. I'm sure if you look on the Elks Herd on X, you can find that one-of-one card. And I wrote in like Rookie of the Year, and it's one of the coolest pieces I'll ever own. But more importantly was the conversation with him. Got to meet his mom as well. Great, just some of the most wholesome stuff ever. Very, very cool. He was trying to enjoy his dinner with his mom, and people just kept coming up and shaking hands and trying to meet him. And I mean, he was doing this Team CFLPA thing because obviously that's his people in there, right? So it was very cool. Kathy got to meet Nick Anderson as well, which is sweet. So it was just, it was very, very special. And then after that, we went to the HQ after some good Pacific chowder. That was decent.
No, well,
Pacific
we
chowder.
checked the other side of the conference room at the conference area, and that was where all the activities were for the kids. So I was glad we ran into that because I was wondering, I see a lot of kids. There's not a lot of activities for kids. Like, what's happening here? But no, they were on the other side, and that was really cool too, actually. They had tons of activities, tons of things that you could do. They had that wall with all the helmets from all the teams, and there was definitely, I think, now looking back, now that I'm talking about it, just because everything was so sectioned off, you had your team parties, you had all the family stuff inside, and then you had the street festival. Maybe because it was so kind of blocked off, that's why it felt like it was a lot smaller than it should have been. But now thinking about everything all together, probably a really good size, especially after we ran into all of that. So that was cool. I'm glad that they did have a whole bunch of other activities for kids and families, and tons of things to do for sure.
Oh, totally. And a piece that we did forget. I mean, Royal Retros was given away, or no, they were selling hats and they were selling those jerseys as well at Team CFLPA. That's how we got these. Our representative was actually there, so that was very special as well. But no, and I do agree, and I think for the kids, it was very cool to see how many events they had for kids and like family oriented. They also had multicultural, the Indigenous market, and the Chinese Museum. Normie Kwong plaque there and everything, right? The lady was all excited. She's like, the China Clipper. And I'm like, the China Clipper, like Normie Kwong, right? Just it was really cool. It was a really, really cool celebration all around. Even in the East Convention, obviously West is where I kind of identified a little bit more. And then we somehow took a picture of, some of the most notable Twitter people and social media people.
Yeah,
all at
no,
that
it was
table.
once again, it was like Marcia said, the colorful fans table. It was, I
Yeah,
think, really the only representation that we were missing at the table was Winnipeg, but there was another guy sitting behind us with a
it's in the
Winnipeg
picture.
jersey. So
It's
I
he's in the picture.
he's in the picture. That's what matters. So, to me, that was the coolest part of the entire thing.
Yeah.
If the events are nice, everything is cool, but just being able to see that, just a match, a mix of colors, everybody wearing their colors, mingling together, talking to each other.
Well, yeah,
It
no,
was pretty
you
cool.
have Stampeders fans talking. Well, even a Stampeders fan was throwing me footballs, and I was trying to catch it, and we're going back and
Right.
forth. Like it's those kind of things. It's a Red Blacks fan shooting the breeze with a Tie Cats and an Argos fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's that CFL community. We're all just here to cheer on our team.
Yeah,
And
it was pretty cool. I've never been part of an experience like that. So
Daryl with
that's
the
pretty
Grey
cool.
Cup.
Yeah.
Daryl did the Grey Cup again.
Yeah, he did dress up like a Grey Cup. We saw a couple of those. I saw another couple that the guy was dressed like a football and
Yeah.
his wife was dressed like the Grey Cup.
No,
So it
oh,
was cute.
totally. No, and I'm happy you got to experience that as
Mhm.
well. Because I mean, I've gotten to see it. I've never gotten to see it on that level.
Yeah,
When it was in Edmonton, I didn't get any of the conference room
right.
tickets or anything like that. I walked through the street festival and was like,
Yeah.
angry banana, stamps in it. I don't care about this Grey Cup. This last Grey Cup, 111th time of my life. It was
Mhm.
probably the best football experience, I think, as far as a multi-day thing.
Mhm.
Edmonton Elks Western Final, Eskimos Western Final, and
Mhm.
then to the Grey Cup. That's
Mhm.
special for its own reasons. This
Yeah.
was just great. This was
Yeah.
just great. And then like the game the next
The
day,
game.
we had to go to had to get downtown right away.
Mhm.
Kind of took our time getting downtown once again. You start to get slower as the days go on.
You
Kind of
wake
bog
up.
down a little
You
bit.
wake up and you're like, oh, we gotta go places.
Yeah. So we ended up making it down there, and Rick Saratella, scout for the
Mhm.
Edmonton Elks, gave us a heads up that he was at the red card
Mhm.
with Gabriel Morency and
Avery was there. Yeah.
Avery Lewis McDougall, good stuff. So we, got our taste of home. He was there.
Mhm.
Mick Aussie was like the only one missing at the table, which is
Mhm.
hilarious. But it was cool getting to chop it up with some great media minds and media folks. Reed Johnson of the Markcast was there.
Mhm.
So like everywhere you go, it's just these little communities that you keep on running into, right? Or keep on joining and then disbanding and joining and
Mhm.
disbanding. So that was very, very special for its own
Mhm.
reasons. Had a couple beers, and then we ended up making it to the game. Sinjin in
Yeah.
the herd chat. The Grey Cup is amazing for connecting with fans from all over. It's amazing. I was at
Mhm.
Commonwealth in 2010. It's not one team's stadium; it's the CFL's. Totally.
Oh, so true. One of the things that I made a comment, and I still stick by it, is that the CFL should have had more CFL merchandise.
Yeah.
Again, like sure, a Grey Cup merchandise is fine, especially for a memento if you want to buy something like that. But just if there had been CFL branded merchandise,
Yeah.
I would have bought something. 100%.
It was really lacking that, eh?
Yeah.
Like they did have Grey Cup merchandise. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna buy a Grey Cup branded mini helmet. I do not care. And when
Especially that
they
it says Vancouver.
no, I don't want black and orange. And even then, if it's in Edmonton, either my team is in and they won or they
Yeah.
didn't. So in the event that the Double E wins whenever the Grey Cup comes here, I would buy the heck out of that merch.
Yeah, of course. But in general, right? Because like St. John says, it's the CFL.
It's
Right? You
yeah,
have representation for every single team there. And
right.
it's amazing because that's like an event of its own, right? You always joke that sometimes there's two types of fans. There's, in-season fans and then there's Grey Cup people,
Yeah,
right? And people will travel to the Grey Cup just for the Grey Cup, right? I actually talked to somebody that we've met at the tailgate, and she and her dad bought tickets to the Grey Cup, but not to the game.
yeah.
She made it there
No, to the
specifically. No,
oh
she did not buy tickets to the game.
no, but to the festival and the
Yeah,
HQ
no,
and
of
all the
course. Yeah,
events.
no,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
events. They went to all the events. They did all the things. but they just didn't buy the tickets to the game.
Is that Type 1 Liz?
Yes.
Type 1
Yeah,
Liz.
Liz.
Shout out Type
Yeah.
1 Liz.
Her and her dad. It just came to party.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, maybe they bought tickets, last minute tickets. They were going for fairly cheap, I think. So that was probably, something to think about for other ones. If you just want to get like last minute tickets to get some cheap tickets, that might be a way to do it. But in reality, she booked her plane, and she booked all the tickets with the intention of only making it there for the festival, the Grey Cup festival, and not the game. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Sinjin here in her chat as well. The CFL doesn't market itself as a league. Basically, organizations doing it. Very right. We talk about that.
They're losing money with that. They would. I think people would purchase CFL merchandise if it was available.
Yeah, I agree.
They're losing money.
Oh, Cole in the herd chat. Okay, Cole. I know you. Yeah, Cole was the Double E fan in the stands up there with us at Grey Cup. Shout out, Cole. Frank. I don't know why I didn't catch that sooner. Sorry, man. I was very disappointed that I couldn't buy Elks gear as an out-of-town fan. There should be more opportunity. There was a small selection at Spirit of Edmonton, but that was exclusive. Yeah. And, I mean, there was also Spirit of Edmonton branded clothes as well. It wasn't a full collection.
Yeah, like, that truck that they had outside with Grey Cup merchandising gear. If they have a CFL truck with gear from all the teams, like just a CFL shop, people would eat that up.
Eat it up, yeah.
They would eat it up. But yet again, I mean, if they want to lose money, they want to lose money.
Yeah, that's
don't hire me for your marketing or anything, but
email Catherine at Shotgun Sports Network. Okay, so let's talk about this game real quick. Let's talk. Start the beginning. Walking in the gates, smelled like cat pee. I don't know if anybody else recognized that. I don't know if it's the mouse problem. I don't know what the heck is going on in BC Place. I do not care. It smelled like cat pee, and I don't know why that was.
I thought that a whole bunch of people had spilled those like Olays or something, like fruity stuff, but it was really bitter, and I do agree. Like there was
acrid.
It was bitter smell that could have been a lot of fruity alcoholic drinks or cat pee.
Well, I mean, we saw a rat that night. Very first rat for me. So I don't know if they got cats in the building to deter mice. I don't know, and I think that that's possible. But anyways, smelled like cat pee for the first bit. I got used to it. Great stadium, BC Place. That's my second time at BC Place. Upper Bowl did not have draft beers available, which was very disappointing. It would have been nice. Other than that, though, Upper Bowl at BC Place, very cool. I like how much glass there is on that Upper Bowl on the top.
Yeah.
And I also really appreciated the view. Very good view.
I truly appreciated the roof. I was cold. I was, what? Vancouver was cold because, obviously you're so close to the water, so it gets a little humid.
But you also didn't know what to expect in an enclosed stadium.
I didn't know what to expect. Like, I kind of knew it was a roof, but I've never been there. So, but I truly enjoyed the experience because I was comfortable. I wasn't exposed to the elements.
Yeah.
Elks. I know we talk about that, but a roof over Commonwealth Stadium would be pretty cool.
You leave Commonwealth out of this.
I'm just saying it would be comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't change it if I have to still continue to go to Commonwealth in the middle of winter. I will. But
Commonwealth catching strays out here on the Elks Call.
I'm just
saying. What the heck?
It was comfortable.
Anyways, getting back to the game. Hey, at least you didn't have to bring the blanket.
That's true.
But getting back to the game was very interesting. Field goal by Toronto Argonauts to get the first points. Winnipeg Blue Bombers come in, get that first touchdown. And you're like, here we go. You're like, here we go.
I wasn't expecting it to go the way that it did.
No.
It's like even before when we were meeting, when we were at the bar with everybody, we're kind of saying like, well, who do you got? Who do you got?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what I said is I want the Argos to win, but realistically, I think Winnipeg's got it. Realistically, what you go in expecting.
Gabriel Morency has it. He has the receipts. I said 30-27.
Yeah.
Argonauts, and then he said 29-27 was his prediction. We were both wrong, but in a right way.
Yeah.
It was we were wrong on the score, but right on the Toronto Argonauts winning, which was huge. After the first quarter, we ran into Cole. Cole swung by, got a quick picture. That was cool. Then we also saw some Riders fans at halftime. Halftime show. The Blue Bombers were leading, by the way. Blue Bombers were leading at that point. Yes. But what about the Joe Bros?
It was good. I thought it was pretty cool.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was great. And it always gets me because I always expect that there's, what they're going to do is a lot longer than just 10 minutes. In many ways, I always think that it's going to be like a mini concert, which technically it was.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a little too quick, but that's expected. That's just what always happens.
Well, yeah. And I mean, it was, I think, a 12 to 15 minute performance. I think that was it was an action-packed 12 minutes. Burning up, I'm not going to lie. I do get teary-eyed sometimes when the show is that good. I did not get teary-eyed for the Joe Bros, but it brought me back 10 years or so, right?
You were
I was
singing that.
Belting it.
Yeah. I think beautiful. I only know a couple of the ones that they did.
For you.
Yeah, I know. That was one of my favorite, one of the boys' favorites a couple of years ago when it was, and then Cake by the Ocean.
Cake by the Ocean. Fantastic.
So
I thought
it was fun. Like, listen, I am all for live music, whatever it is, except country. But I am all for live music, so I definitely had a fantastic time just even watching them do their thing. It was really cool seeing the cheerleaders be part of the performance, though.
Totally.
That was really cool. I'm glad that they included them, and they even got the chance to perform with the Jonas Brothers. And who gets to say that they get that chance ever in their lives, right?
Yeah.
So good for them. They probably had an experience of a lifetime.
Oh yeah, they ate it up, and rightfully so. You're there, you're working, you're doing your thing, right? So good for them. And they do go out. They do make sure that you have your 75th or your yearly cheer pin.
Oh, they push. It's like, buy it. Which, I can't blame them.
Well, that's what kind of funds them, right?
Yeah,
so
I can't blame them.
Make sure you go get your pin every year, and if you don't have it, they're gonna hound you at Grey Cup.
They will.
Make sure you just go get it early, like we did, because I mean, this is the 75th pin was just the greatest. Yeah. So halftime finishes up, and then the Blue Bombers come unraveled. They came so unraveled, and I think as a Double E fan, I'm cheering for the Argonauts. Because I was apparently an Argonauts fan first.
Apparently.
Well, because I thought I wanted to be an Argonauts fan.
We heard the story in last week's episode.
Go check out last week's episode.
2 weeks ago. Last episode
to find out how I became an Argonauts fan first, and then converted about a week or two later. But
yeah. For me, it's just I like the colors of their uniforms.
No, but I also want dynasty records intact for the Double E. When we talk about
your own selfish reasons that you just don't want any other team to win it.
No, and when the Winnipeg Blue Bombers did lose that, I know that we did put up a choke post. I would like to apologize for absolutely nothing because I do not care. I did not want to see the Winnipeg Blue Bombers win. Unfortunately, I do feel bad for our fellow friends.
But it's all in good fun. I mean, It's not like we're truly being like, yeah, you deserved it. No, I mean,
how much chirp do we receive at the Elks here? Let's be honest.
It's beyond chirp. It's been plain embarrassing sometimes in the past 3 years. The amount of negativity that has come our way.
Well, as a new GM has stated, the team has been a laughingstock. So in a way, right, we kind of have to eat it as fans.
Yeah.
But every once in a while you can dish it out too. And it's all in good fun. We don't mean it in a serious way. Jamie Fadoon, it was awesome meeting you at Grey Cup Festival in Vancouver, along with your friends that you introduced us to. Jamie Fadoon, one of the biggest CFL fans there is, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Stamps, Elks fan, everything, big CFL guys. So
definitely,
it was great once again seeing the CFL family. It was very, very special. I think we went for miso ramen that I will never forget
That was
after
delicious.
the Grey Cup game. Game wraps up. We kind of tried to make it down onto the field, but they were pretty tight on security. Did get to high five Ginger Argo, former guest on the show.
Oh, who just was having the experience of his life.
Ginger
too.
Argo was
He
down there
was-
as a fan lifting the cup with the team.
Oh man, like I was so happy for him. If there's, a super fan that we've ever met, it is definitely Ginger Argo, and the fact that he got to experience that. Crazy.
He tailgates. He holds his tailgate down out there in Toronto.
Well, he's a tailgate mayor, according to Toronto News.
Yes, tailgate mayor officially, and I mean he was our guest judge
Yes.
for the chili
Chili
cook-off this
cook-off.
year. So
Mhm.
he's one of the greatest CFL fans out there. Couldn't be more happy for a guy. And you know what? If it was the Toronto Argonauts that were in the lead and choked away a game like that, please believe we would have something to say about that too. So
Yes,
it didn't
definitely.
matter who lost that day. I think
True.
somebody was going to get the smoke.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all for jokes. It's all good.
Oh, it's all for fun. And then of course on the final day of Grey Cup for us was travel day.
Yeah.
I could not continue driving past Hinton. I had to go be a little baby and sleep in the back of the car. I was like, Kathy, could you please save me here? I'm falling asleep. And then I wake up, pull over. So it was a blast. Overall, I think I'm still a little bit tired from Grey Cup, but talk about one of the greatest league celebrations the CFLPA put on.
That was cool. It definitely reminded me that I'm not 20 anymore.
Yeah,
they were so really cool.
You feel, you feel old.
It.
You feel old.
Feel
yeah.
it. And it's not. We weren't even going that hard on a day-to-day basis. It was just the walking and the travel and everything that tired us out. And I'm like, man, we have to.
Zero rough mornings. Like it wasn't that kind of time, right? It wasn't.
No, it was the rough mornings for my feet.
Yeah, no, it was like body sore stuff. It wasn't like, oh, I drank too much.
It's like, how do you know that you're over 30?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, a hangover. Yeah, exactly. A hangover would have taken us out for a day or two. We can't afford to drink that much in that sense.
We cannot. No.
But
out.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Great times. Talked to Rick Lawlisher. Had a good chat with Rick Lawlisher. Had a good chat with Dave McKinnon. Had a good chat with the Cordy crew. You talk to everybody. Everybody's there. You talk to everybody. We will be doing it again. It's more than likely going to be Calgary. I do not know if we go to Winnipeg. However, Catherine has given us approval to go to Grey Cup when the Double E make it.
If they make it next year, we will go. If not, it will most likely be Calgary.
Yes.
For sure.
That's our recap of our Grey Cup. Very exciting times. Now, once again, we will be giving away one of these guys here tonight. We're going to tell you how in just a moment.
Yeah.
We have 2 segments away, and one of them's really short because it's going to be the herd report.
Yeah. There's not. I mean.
All right,
not much to say.
Don't have too much to say, but we do have a little bit of news, right?
There's a couple of really big things that happen, of course. I mean, there's not much discussion really, but I mean, we can discuss it for sure. So let's get into it.
Yeah, the herd report is brought to you by the Forge Podcast. Experience the latest in Birmingham sports with Ryan Messer as he gives you the latest news and updates straight out of Birmingham, Alabama. Find the Forge every week on Shotgun Sports Network. Ryan does it all.
He sure does.
And he's also designing our season 3 intro graphics as well. So the prep is already on for season 3. Very exciting.
Yeah.
And
we're all going to be working away here in the off months to make sure that it's bigger and better.
Off seasons for growth. That's for the gains,
Oh my goodness. But yes, let's talk about transactions. There's no transactions.
No transactions? I don't think we're gonna cheer on that.
No, let's not cheer.
I wish we had some players re-signed right about now.
So for the news, I'm gonna oh my goodness. We have Chris Agar on the chat. Season 3. You see what he did there? You see what he did there?
Wait.
That was good. That was good.
That
Thanks for
was
that.
bravo.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That's what we'll call it. From only if he resigns. But
Well, but it's looking good, and we're going to
it's
talk about that later in the
mhm.
fan forum. How does Trey Ford always make it into the fan
Yeah,
forum?
we've talked so much about him and MVT. It's absolutely insane. But yes, the first set of news.
Oh, we do have some news?
Yeah, just a couple. The first is that the Edmonton Elks have added former Sherwood Park Rams head coach Jim Skitsko as their new ambassador for to amateur football.
That's huge.
Yes, he will be in charge of facilitating the promotion of the Edmonton Elks Football Club through a model of community service, connecting with stakeholders, partners like Football Alberta, and of course, developing strategies to support amateur football programs. So
Yeah.
he has had 24 years as a coach, and he's a huge builder of community in the world of football.
Yeah.
He is also a Hall of Famer for Football Alberta.
Yep.
So
Huge.
I think that's a very exciting addition to the team for sure.
Very exciting. I mean, we've talked about this missing piece, the grassroots movement, the development of kids into the Double E brand, into Alberta football, right? Especially Football Alberta. Our good friends Jim and Tim over there,
Definitely.
Tim Enger, Jim Narevsky, all those folks, Jalen and I, they're all great stuff over there at Football Alberta, right?
They do fantastic things for the, starting from the grassroots development all the way to amateur football. It takes a community, and that's exactly what
it takes a village. Yeah, it really does, and it's cool to see them restore that link. They really did need to restore the link. I think.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that goes hand in hand, right? The amateur football movement with the professional.
Yeah.
Get the kids back into the game. Get
Totally.
the Double E back out in the community as well.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if their football thing that they have for the kids, the league, the league, not the camp. The camp was just a 2-day, but the league that they had that was once a week for 3 weeks. It definitely will make a comeback this year, and it will be bigger, I think, just to increase in that kind of community sense too. So
I like that prediction. I like that.
I'm excited for that. And of course, the other set of news is oh.
Former Double E Ed Hervey is in at General Manager and Vice President of Football Operations after his stint with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He returns to the Double E for the first time since 2016, where he was GM last. Oh, sorry, where he was a GM before. He was the last GM in Hamilton for the Tiger Cats. So, I mean, really, Ed Hervey, come on, people. As if this wasn't widely speculated, because that's step one, but step two, as if we didn't think this wasn't going to happen. You know, like you knew this was going to happen.
You speculated, you talk about it, you think that it will, but sometimes you don't know. I mean, we've been surprised before.
Yeah. Now we were surprised with Chris Morris because it was off the board, but as soon as you see Chris Morris in that role, Ed Hervey was
right.
Somebody had said it. I think I don't want to say a name and be wrong, but somebody had said no. Ed Hervey was always the only choice.
Right.
Really. And we're trying to bring Bone back into this building.
And that's the first step. I mean, he spent how many years with the Green and Gold? 10 years?
As a player or?
Well, as a part of the organization in general.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it could be a total of 10 years.
Yeah, and he was away for about 8 years.
Yeah.
So it was, even with that length of time being away, the press conference that he did, what he talked about, that it doesn't matter how long you're away from a team that treats you like family, that takes care of you, you will always want to see it succeed, and you will always be loyal to that team. So that was really cool to kind of see.
Well, and I think grabbing Hervey is a great step at bringing him back. That is Sinjin in the herd chat. And I mean, he was somewhat wrongfully dismissed, as per many other people, as per many fans. Ed Hervey should have never left this organization.
Oh, I think he's talking about Trey.
I think grabbing Hervey is a great step at bringing him back. Oh, yeah, sorry, yes, no, sorry, correct. Now that once again, we're gonna get to that,
Mhm.
but in order for these players to sign, you needed to have the GM in place.
Oh, we talked about that before, right? You need kind of those bigger pieces for players to feel confident about the team,
Yeah.
to feel secure, because you
Yeah.
obviously want security. I'm pretty sure that even these players don't want to feel like there's a revolving door.
Right.
They want to be part of an organization that will take care of them. And having somebody like Ed Hervey that can speak to an organization taking care of them for being part of it, it's massive, because he knows he's been through it, he understands, and now he's part of making it happen for the new generation of players.
Right. And it's also connecting the old with the new.
Mhm.
It's bringing that bone, that family value,
Mhm.
that core, those foundations, bringing that back. When you have
Mhm.
so many outsiders run your organization for so long, what do you think is going to happen? Here we are today. When you have outsiders making decisions such as white numbers on jerseys, and I hate to say it,
Yes, yes.
we are not the Packers. When you have these people making these
Yes.
decisions that do not understand the green and gold tradition,
Yeah.
the double E winning ways, the
Mhm.
Eskimo way,
Mhm.
just say it, the Eskimo way. When you have people that do not understand that and do not know how to bring the old into the new,
Mhm.
I can tell you right now, the Edmonton Elks are going to look like the Edmonton Eskimos next year. Everything about this organization, except for the name, which,
Mhm.
John, what up in the herd chat? We see you. You did also have some other good questions, John. We will get back to them. We see a name change soon? No, we won't.
I don't think so. I mean, you've seen the changes already being made. It's no longer in a lot. I noticed that today, actually. It's no longer just the Edmonton Elks. It's the Edmonton Elks Football Club that you find everywhere. They have already made that change, which is their legal name anyway, so it makes
Double E,
sense.
I think, and I've
And
also
it's
seen Double E.
no, but that's the logo. The primary logo has 100% changed to the double E.
Yeah.
We know that.
No, but Double E Limited. So there's a company name that owns a trademark. I've done a bunch of trademark research. So I know that there's a Double E Limited out there.
Yeah.
So this team is going to see changes.
Yeah.
And I mean, in my opinion, this club, this organization,
Mm-hmm.
the club, the organization, the on-turf branding, and probably the on-turf performance.
Yeah.
At this rate,
100%.
they're trending up. But this is
100%.
going to be a return to Double E glory.
100%. And even, think about it. Legal name is just the legal name.
Yeah.
That's what they have to refer themselves to whenever they're presenting anything legal. There's nothing stopping them from referring to the Edmonton Elks as double E, because that's a moniker, right? That's a trade name. That's a trademark name.
Yeah.
That's a it can happen that way, right? And there's absolutely zero need for the legal name to change to start referring to a team in a secondary way, right? And the double E is something that both new and old will, identify with. So why not? And they're making those moves towards that, right? But I really truly don't see that they will change the name legally. It's just the way that they refer to the team and how it's being referred in the media and how they're putting an emphasis on the double E rather than the Elks.
Yeah, and another piece of branding that I missed, a little piece of marketing on the 75th graphics this year for any of the player signings, any of the schedule, any of that. They have that exact same, the 3 white stripes and the 2 yellow at the end on the right hand side, as if alluding to next. And now their branding this year is that exact same branding. Like they were kind of foreshadowing or alluding to what they were going to be branding to this year. And that was already decided before Larry Thompson came in.
Like St. John said, it's a lot of money to change an L to an S. 100%. They don't have, well, maybe they do have the money right now, but it's not. Why would they? What should they? They shouldn't. It's a legal name. It's an entity. There's absolutely zero reason to change that legally when you can just have a trademark.
But the Take the L Out of Elks campaign would still be wild. I'll maintain, and then I'll digress. Yeah, very interesting. Now, head coach, I know we all want to talk about this. That's going to be in the fan forum. We're right around the corner from it.
Yeah, let's.
And if you want to win one of these, you're going to have to wait for after our Edmonton Sports Update. Today's Edmonton Sports Update is brought to you by Hervey's Diner. We miss you. We miss you. We really want to feed you, but we can't. 780-307-7779.
Okay.
That's a preview from our single that will never be released.
No.
Feed You Through the Phone by the Elks.
Okay, Drake.
Hervey's.
Is it Drake?
No, it's Soulja Boy. You flopped on that.
I have no idea.
Hervey's Diner coming soon.
I've heard it thanks to you, but
The Edmonton Elks are hosting meetings with potential head coach candidates next week. An announcement on head coaching is expected the following week, pending interviews. The 11-9-2 Edmonton Oilers start a road trip against the Utah Hockey Club on Friday night at 7 p.m., followed by an 8 p.m. tilt in Colorado against the Avalanche. Your 11-10 Oil Kings are in Calgary on Friday night to face the Hitmen at 6 p.m., with a trip back up the QE2 to defend Rogers Place against the Prince George Cougars. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Love Pro Wrestling LPW 32 has come and gone. The wrestling promotion once again breaking records for the Rec Room in Western Canada for yet another successful calendar year. Clandestine Wrestling Society and Love Pro Wrestling return in January to the Rec Room South Common. Catch all the action every last Thursday and Friday of the month. In BCHL action, the 13-9 Sherwood Park Crusaders continue their campaign this weekend with a homestand at Randy Rosen Rink in the park. They'll host the Cranbrook Bucks on Friday and then the Brooks Bandits on Saturday. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Mountain for both games. And for more on the Edmonton sports scene, check out our weekly sports articles on shotgunsportsnetwork.ca and our other great shows on the network on our YouTube at Shotgun Sports Network. Oh, and don't forget, the Sherwood Park Crusaders are always looking for game day volunteers, so contact Glenn Nunes at the Sherwood Park Crusaders to join the crew or visit their website directly. Where the Elks heard, you're up to date.
Oh, John over here. Let's talk about that Edmonton Elks player who's going to be wrestling on December 13th with Top Talent Wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, Noah Taylor. Shout out Noah Taylor for getting into the ring.
That's cool. Was that like something that he wanted to do?
I think so.
Or
I don't know many agents that would just okay that without a contract. You know, guy could potentially get injured.
I know.
That's
it's wild.
It's really cool. I think it probably has to do with Top Talent as well. Right. They had Noah Taylor and Jamin out to one of their wrestling matches, so one of their events. So very, very cool.
Yeah.
All right. I got to get the drum roll sound effect. All right. Let's talk Royal Retros. This is our commercial break. This is a moment some of us have been waiting for. If you want to win this hat right here, it's a snapback. Beautiful Team CFLPA All-Stars. You got the CFLPA logo right here. Let's get you some of that.
We'll remove the cat hair before we...
Oh no, this is my model.
Mine? Okay, that's yours.
Yes.
Not mine. I'm not hood enough.
So pretty slick hat here. CFLPA. And this is CFLPA All-Stars 2024. Yeah. This is also a limited run as well.
Yeah.
So they're only making so many of these. Once they sell out, they sell out. You can't. They're not going to buy they're not going to run another batch.
Right.
They're not. You can only buy this for a limited time. Super limited run. You almost 780-307-779. You are going to text in code ROYAL.
Royal.
Code ROYAL to 780-307-7779. Phone number's right here. Text it in and enter to win one of these awesome Team CFLPA All-Star hats made by Royal Retros. And if you don't win, go over, support the players by using code Shotgun Sports over at royalretros.com. When you purchase your throwback gear, Christmas is right around the corner. It makes for awesome Christmas presents over at royalretros.com. The Throwback Kings, and we don't call them that for no reason. Go check it out. Once again, Alex was wearing a Royal Retros Birmingham Barracudas jersey.
Yeah.
It was cool.
They have a lot of really cool stuff.
There was Will, also from Argo's Fancast, was wearing his Memphis Mad Dogs jersey. Yes. Once again from Royal Retros. It was cool. Dustin, our rep, shout out Dustin Alameda. He was like, wow, this is crazy. There's Royal Retros jerseys like everywhere in here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very special. So very cool. Also, John is also letting us know that Noah Taylor had a tryout with WWE in September. So maybe the Top Talent thing is a means to an end for him, as we would say. But getting back to our commercials here, Fanatics, apparently we do not have the link in the description, by the way. Somebody has made us aware of that.
That's
so
good to know.
Once we update that, hit the link, shop Fanatics and Shotgun Sports Network. They always have discounts over there. So, yeah, go check it out. We all know Fanatics. We know what Fanatics does. They sell all the goods. And then, of course, finally, our friends over at Lather, LATHR, it's Lather without the E.com, Canadian handmade soaps. Some of the finest. So if you want to save 20% over at Lather, you're going to use code ShotgunSports20, all caps, no spaces. Smell damn good. Smell damn good. Treat yourself. 20% off. Once again, Christmas is right around the corner. I don't know if anybody's going to gift me soap. Maybe I'll just go buy my own.
Do you want soap for Christmas?
I want Lather. LATHR. Sandalwood bourbon is the recommended scent.
Stocking stuffers. There you go.
Stocking stuffers. Smell damn good. Cleanse those dirty thoughts with some soap. Alrighty, let's move right on to the fan forum. Let's dig right into it here. Our final segment of the night. Very, very exciting. Let's open up the fan forum. In this segment, we talk about hot topics surrounding the Edmonton Elks, the CFL, sports world as a whole. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, for the final time this season, blow up the herd chat so we can get your comments and questions onto the show. You guys have already been killing it in the herd chat. Also, give us a thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up for the Elks Call season finale. We greatly appreciate it. You know how it helps. Helps with algorithm and all that. So greatly appreciate your support here tonight and your viewership. But we got a big one.
Feed the meta gods dogs. Wow, the meta.
Have we fed the dog tonight?
The gods. The meta gods.
Did I leave the toaster plugged in?
I don't know. It's late. I'm tired.
Exactly. Today's fan forum is brought to you by the Rouge, White, and Blue podcast. Americans talking CFL. Oz and Joe can now be seen on Shotgun Sports Network, bringing their audibles to your screens. Everyone's favorite point, white and blue. Once again, Joe just saw him at Grey Cup. But all right, looking forward to the future because the Double E wants to make it to a Grey Cup. And right now, I think we're a couple pieces away. Might need a head coach. So let's talk head coach, everybody. The Edmonton Elks are looking at potential candidates for the head coaching job here in Edmonton. Right now, the candidates are Buck Pierce, Rick Campbell, Jordan Maximic, Mark Killam, and Jarius Jackson. Those 5 are scheduled for interviews next week. Justin Dunk from 3 Down Nation has already posted about this upcoming schedule. So, $1 million question here. Might be a $100,000 to $200,000 question in the CFL, but $1 million question. Who do you want to see as head coach of the Double E in 2024? Who do you want to see? Herd chat, let us know. I think we know who the most speculated name is.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I can't say that I have a lot of experience with a lot of
Right.
these coaches. I'm not very familiar with a few of them. For some of them, I am. I've heard about them, but it's not like I'm really truly following their careers. So, just based on the hype, based on the conversations, based on what I have seen, Rick Campbell is the most likely for that.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, John here. I thought they were being interviewed this week. So, I mean, that might actually be the schedule for this week. I probably have that wrong. It is probably this week. Because
I
the
can't remember.
announcement should be for next week. That's what I was kind of...
Yeah, so I think Friday might be or no, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure what the schedule
That would
is
mean
for
that everybody else is already interviewed.
Yeah.
So we're on Wednesday right now. Yeah, so that would actually make sense. Thanks,
Yeah.
John. Appreciate that.
So this is
correction.
interesting. We already have a couple of people chiming in. Game Day Baby over here.
Jordan
He's-
Mack.
Jordan Mack. Now, why would somebody want Jordan Mack as head coach?
Well, Jordan Maksimic has familiarity with the building. He has familiarity with Ed Hervey.
Mhm.
He was Michael Riley's offensive coordinator for the 2015 Grey Cup, and then, of course, going over to BC as well.
Right. So he's currently an offensive coordinator.
Yes, but he's also kind of due for his step up, kind of like Jarius Jackson was.
Mhm.
But there are a lot, there's quite a few head coaches
Right.
that are stellar candidates right now, or at least even offensive coordinators that are stellar candidates. Buck Pierce is a stellar candidate.
Okay.
Buck Pierce actually has a really good chance of getting a head coaching job. Might even be in BC.
Mhm.
BC is actually kind of targeting him.
Now
I think
let's talk about Mark Killam.
so. Mark
We
Killam.
have Jamie Fadoon here that he says that Mark Killam would be a great coach for Edmonton.
Yes.
Same question. Why would he make a really good candidate for a head coach position here in Edmonton?
So Mark Killam, he was let go by the Calgary Stampeders. He was one of the biggest culture pieces there for them, right?
Right. Yes.
Mark Killam, former U of A Golden Bear, I want to say linebacker. Mark Killam definitely has that. He has a little bit of pedigree. He's won multiple Grey Cups with the Stampeders. People kind of thought he was going to be there for a while, but the problem is that he can't move up. Now, going from special teams to special teams, obviously they ended up letting him go. They let in my opinion, they let one of the wrong guys go. Alex Singleton chimed in on one of our posts. He ended up liking one of them because he was like, hey, go Elks. When are you going to announce Mark Killam with the Edmonton Elks?
Right.
And I'm like, wow, I never thought that we would be quote tweeting Alex Singleton, but here we are. And he liked it, right? Yeah, I mean, Mark Killam is a quality guy. He loves the city. He's, basically an Edmontonian. I could see him coming to Edmonton, but not as a head coach.
What would be the position that he takes?
I would say special teams.
Yeah.
Now, imagine this. What about this scenario? What if the Edmonton Elks are bringing in Rick Campbell at head coach, Jordan Maksimic at offensive coordinator, and Mark Killam at special teams?
Do we have the cap for that?
Well, that's coaching cap stuff.
That don't matter.
That doesn't matter. They'll figure it out. And Larry Thompson will more than likely pay a fine too.
True.
We now have an organization that can pay a fine.
Yeah.
We have not had that ever. Like maybe when there was that $4 million rainy day fund or whatever back in the day.
I know, but I mean, if all of them are going for head coach positions, you can't imagine that their salary is going to be less than that. So
no, they can interview for head coach, but they can be persuaded into another position.
I know, but they're not going to be. I mean, if I understand correctly, or this is just my assumption, the salaries between an offensive coordinator, a special teams coordinator or coach, and a head coach would be a little bit different.
It's not, but it's not astronomical in the CFL.
Okay.
We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars in difference. Potentially, head coach might make an extra $100,000 than, I don't know, a middle tier or lower tier coach, depending on position, right? Yeah, so that's very, very interesting. I think I think that's kind of what they're doing. I think they're bringing them in for a head coaching interview, but
If they can be persuaded, because you just said that, Jordan Miximic, he's looking to move up. He's looking to get a head
yeah.
coach position. Why would he stay in the same position that he has currently with the team that he's
Well,
with?
because the BC Lions went backwards this year.
Well,
That's the other thing too,
but
right?
I mean,
Or they went slightly backwards.
I'm just talking for that kind of, mentality. Why would you stay with the same position when you have the opportunity to move up?
Because if there's a faster road to a Grey Cup,
Yeah.
and you look like the star at offensive coordinator, now you can go elsewhere and go get that head coaching gig. Because
Yeah,
right now the candidates
treat this as a stepping stone.
Well, yeah,
a little
because
bit.
the candidates for head coach right now are like you're going up against Buck Pierce.
Mhm.
Buck Pierce is interviewing with the Edmonton Elks, or has already interviewed with the Edmonton Elks, and he's not going to get the job. Because I believe that Rick Campbell, well, he might, right? I can't say that. I believe, like Cole says here, Campbell fits the bill the best. Hervey says he wants a calm guy, and he would balance Hervey well. Hervey also hired Rick Campbell out in BC when Michael Riley went over.
Mm-hmm.
So Ed Hervey likes Rick Campbell. He works with the system. Also, Rick Campbell knows bone. Yeah. Rick Campbell has that 9 years or whatever. He has multiple years in Edmonton as a coordinator. Rick Campbell knows this system well.
So now I have a question, and this goes with Cole's comment here as well. Typically, the head coach brings in their own staff. Now, let's say that Rick Campbell becomes head coach. What are the chances that he would go for that decision?
Well, Max Simic was already his offensive coordinator in BC.
That's true.
So it's not much of a change, is it? That's also kind of going back to that question that you just asked. There's that familiarity. Why would he go from OC to OC? It's because he knows his head coach. If he's going to go as OC over to the Edmonton Elks, it's because he was already working for Rick Campbell. Mm-hmm. Like Cole said, typically the head coach brings in their own staff. This leads me to believe that Max Simic, if Rick Campbell gets the job, which Rick Campbell is already he's qualified over Jordan Max Simic. Yeah. So why else would they be dragging in St. Albert native Jordan Max Simic for that conversation? Yeah. Oh, and then Mark Killam at special teams, bring in a JC Sherritt, even keep Jason Shivers. Honestly, I don't think the defense did too bad. But if you want an upgrade, maybe you bring in a Jason Sherritt. Working alongside the Odell Willises, you got Armando Sewell. You see how this is going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you really do.
This is potentially an all-star coaching staff mixed in with, double E alumni that know what they're talking about, good coaches, and budding coaches at that.
Yeah.
It's very, very exciting.
Marsha over here. She thinks it's between Killam and Campbell.
I would agree. If you're going to pick two, who is it between? I don't think Buck Pierce is in the same conversation as Campbell and Killam.
Well, St. John over here, he does think that Buck has some potential. He's done very well with the O in Winnipeg, and he's been there for the Bills-like run.
And that's why Buck Pierce is not the right candidate for Edmonton. The amount of people that lambasted Buck Pierce's play calling in that Grey Cup, especially with Zach Collaros tearing his finger open and not running the ball. You have Brady Oliveira. It's like Marshawn Lynch on the one, and you're screaming, why didn't you run? Everybody knows that moment that you're talking about. Yes. Marshawn Lynch on the run. You didn't even watch it, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of those. You have Brady Oliveira there, and Buck Pierce is going to go ahead and call long bomb. When he doesn't throw with a glove.
Yeah, you can tell he's not comfortable with that.
No, the first thing I told you, as soon as they're like, oh, he's putting on a glove, as soon as we figured that out, I was like, nope, it's over. Why? Because I throw with a glove. Why? Because I have baby hands, and my baby hands don't get on the strings well enough on the ball for my mechanics and everything. So I have to wear the glove to get it far. I knew that as soon as Zach Collaros put the glove on. So as an offensive coordinator, you have to adjust. And I can tell you right now, fans of the Dynasty Denied are cursing Buck Pierce's name. Now, how will that translate to, let's say, head coach? Well, it's bonehead decision. I was just talking about Jason Moss earlier in his career, going for field goals in touchdown scenarios with the double E back in 2019, 2018 or whatever. And you're like, dude, You need the
Why'd you
touchdown.
do that?
Why are you going for a field goal?
Mhm.
Jason Moss simply wasn't ready to be a head
Yeah.
coach, or at least the head coach of a team that was desperate for wins. You know, you
Yeah.
fast forward to how Jason Moss is doing now. We'd love to have Jason Moss now. He's calm on the sidelines. He's not all throwing his headset around.
Nah,
There's no issues
he's
there,
doing well where he's at.
but that's development. And we have
Yes.
zero time for development right now. And I agree. I do think that things are better, St. John. I do think
Mhm.
that Buck Pierce is a candidate.
Now, another thing that I want to bring up that St. John mentioned, he doesn't have much of an opinion here, but I don't think Trey is a huge fan of Jay Jack, but that could be speculation. So now that's the other name that is in there, Jarius Jackson.
But
Now,
yeah,
is he just being interviewed for
formality.
formalities,
I think
or is he really truly being considered?
I do think that he's being considered, but I think, just like I said on CBC about Ed Hervey, I think the decision's been made.
Yeah.
I think I know who Chris Morris and Ed Hervey wants, and I think I know who the fans want. And I'm not going to assume for anybody, but when you have obvious pedigree right there,
Mhm.
yes, interviewing J Jack does seem like a little bit of a formality. And
Mhm.
I do think that J Jack deserves a fair shake. I think that J Jack will be a good coach in the league.
Mhm.
I think he's going to go find an offensive coordinator job elsewhere, try to
Right.
get that opportunity back.
Right.
But I don't think he did bad with the opportunity.
Mhm.
In this atmosphere right now, in Double E land, in Elks Nation, you need wins now.
Mhm.
You still need wins now. It's not like that really changes, right?
Mhm.
Cole here in the herd chat talking about the Zach Colaros. Can't grab the ball. I had binoculars and saw his horrible warm up after the glove. Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm pretty sure we were pointing at that.
Yeah.
You could see it, right? The shiny white glove. Somebody actually ended up getting his gloves, by the way. I saw in one of the
Yes,
the
and you
Bombers
were
groups.
like, "Oh, who would want these? What a shame."
If that's it, let's say it's Trey Ford and he had to wear a glove and he lost in a Grey Cup and it was heartbreaking and a dynasty and everything else. I saw another comment on that thread and somebody's like, "Yeah, burn them." I'm like,
No,
"Yes,
you know what?
correct."
No, what I said is that if I would want them as a fan of another team. That'd be
Trophy,
just like a
trophy.
trophy. Like, look,
Oh,
guess what
Argonauts.
happened? Guess what happened in this game? And I have the glove.
Yeah, if I were
as
the
a
fan of the opposing team,
for sure,
that was Calgary
or
Stampeders
even
glove.
us as Edmonton Elks, that's a cool thing to get. But
Yeah,
as a Winnipeg fan, as a Bombers fan, oof, no,
doesn't
I
know
would
from me,
not.
dog.
Nope, I would not want that.
What else? Yeah, can you please scroll up a little bit, St. John? Looking to be, they are looking to be going culture first, so that makes sense. And yes, that's
Well, and that's just, and touching on that, I do want to bring up a question that John asked. Why are we going back to the past?
that was
Shouldn't
seamless.
be
That was good.
going forward.
Yeah, and the reason why is because Bone has been lost. The
Yeah.
the old way, the double E, the Eskimo way.
Mm-hmm.
It's been lost. It's been lost on this club for way too long. We've talked about it for years.
Mm-hmm.
Bone, we talk about it all the time, right? Brotherhood of
that
Nasty
was
Eskimos, Brotherhood of Nasty Elks.
that was the culture that they're looking at bringing back. And that's why we're looking at the past and not towards the future, because these people, these coaches, these um, interviewees, let's name it that way, they know they're candidates. Thank you. They know Bone and they know how to bring that culture back into the team. And that's just going to be the starting point to create a more cohesive team in general.
Yeah. I do agree, and it's all about getting that culture back. It's restoring the team back to Dwayne Mandrusiak days. It's restoring it back to
And you know what? Everybody's going to be chasing the glory days. That's what it is. 2015, where you had all of these coaches working together. You're chasing that dream, and maybe it might not work as well as they think it will, but at the same time, it's a very kind of like makes sense decision, right? If we want to be the team that we were back in 2015, why don't we bring all of these pieces that put us back to where we were in 2015? Right?
Yeah.
You're kind of chasing that glory a little bit, but at the same time, all of these coaches are a lot more developed. They're a lot more Um, they've learned, they've grown up, they have more experience, so there's no reason why it shouldn't work again.
Ed Hervey as well has spoken up on it too. He's like, I'm not as fiery. Like, I am a fiery individual, but I'm
Mhm.
not as heated. The locker room will be open to the media. Like, he kind of rectified a lot of his mistakes from back in the day
Mhm.
when Ed Hervey was very strict on just winning first, win first. That's it. F your media, F
Yeah.
this, F that. Ed Hervey treated the team like it was his
Right.
own without respecting the president above him.
Mhm.
This time it's different. Chris Morris, that massive man towering over you, your boss, who used to destroy people on the turf. No, I'm not messing with Chris Morris. There's once again that mutual respect that
Right.
they have,
Very much
and
so.
now the head coach,
Mhm.
who Rick Campbell, I believe, has worked with Ed Hervey at some point,
Mhm.
or they know each other, right? It's all too familiar. Getting Mark Killam in the fold, if they get Mark Killam, that's the icing on the cake at special
Right.
teams, and then you fill it out from there, right? So
Yeah.
very
Well,
exciting. We were going to talk about where the other coaches land. I don't think we're going to get time to that.
no, and we'll
I don't think
see.
I
We'll
don't think we're
see.
going
I
to get
mean,
there.
we already kind of talked about it a little bit, just
Yeah.
saying that what if this happens? Rick Campbell, head coach, um,
No, but like other coach, like
Jordan
where's Jarius
McSinney.
Jackson going to go? Where's G Roy
Oh,
going to go?
we
Where's
don't know.
I mean, G Roy's not a coach, but and then we're
Right.
kind of going to dig into the league.
Nah,
I do not believe we're going to get there
we'll
today.
find out. We'll save it for the next one.
Free agents. Let's do a quick herd chat question here. Free agency is looming. We will be talking more about free agency in
Mhm.
future episodes.
Mhm.
Besides Trey Ford, we're going to
Yeah.
do a question of the show here. Besides Trey Ford, who is your number one priority to re-sign as a free agent?
There's so many. There,
Yeah,
we
I don't
have
want
a
to
lot.
offend
We
anybody
have
by
a very
saying,
large list of free agents right now. Every single team has a very large list of free agents right now. So I mean, number one priority should be your quarterback.
yeah.
I think you need to figure out your quarterback situation first, and then kind of work around that too, because that is kind of the main piece. You also have to work with who the quarterback works best,
No, but like even on the
right?
defensive side, Niles Morgan or Luchez Purifoy. That's one of my two re-signs like right
Bring
now.
Jake Zaresna back.
Oh, I like that. Who do you
I want him
bid?
back. He got himself a ring. He got himself a championship. He posted, "I woke up a champion" the next day, and I don't know if that means that he would like to continue working for, the Argos in the chance of getting a dynasty. Maybe that's his goal.
I did hear
Um,
that there is Serezna back to Edmonton rumblings.
yeah, I would love it.
I did. Niles Morgan is a free agent. He is, yes, St. John.
Mhm.
Yes, and Chris Morris. I sometimes I forget that we all assume that we all know that Chris Morris is a double E, but yeah, it was. I believe I want to say 12 years. It's 12 or 14. It's one of those numbers.
Okay.
3 Grey Cup. But that's as per St. John here. I was
Mhm.
mentioning it. Rankin,
Yes,
Justin
right. And
Rankin
no, what
is
he
a
didn't we extend him?
we extended him,
Yeah, we
yeah.
extended him. He's been
So
extended.
he is not a free agent.
No.
G Roy, that was his last signing on the
Mhm.
way out,
Yeah.
was signing Justin Rankin to a
Yeah,
1 year.
they made sure to keep him for sure.
So you
At
have
least
to.
extending it for another year. So that was good. That was a good move on his end. Um, yeah. What do we do with Gino?
I think Gino's going to get paid, but it's not going to be in Edmonton.
Yeah. Hey, we have a lot of really good players that. I mean, Gino comes with a hefty price. I mean, he definitely puts out the product on the field, so
Yeah.
he's worth it for sure. But now it's just a matter of, will Edmonton go for it?
Yeah, that's it's going to be very interesting. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't think Gino stays in Edmonton strictly on money.
Yeah.
I think that this team is going to be spending a little bit on Trey Ford
Hmm.
at this point. So at this point, with Vernon Adams Jr. going over to Calgary, there
Hmm.
is a lot of hope for Trey Ford right now in Edmonton. From what we're hearing throughout social media and through the league,
Hmm.
there's no real landing spot for Trey Ford as a starter besides Edmonton.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
wild.
let's talk about the second question that you have here.
Okay, so
that.
last question of the night. The quarterback carousel is also spinning alongside the coaching carousel, as Montreal has announced today that Davis Alexander has been extended with the club, earning starter's wage for 2025 and the 2 years following. Vernon Adams Jr. also went over to Calgary from BC in a trade that involved picks, basically. Excuse me, very low price for that trade. So we got to ask, does Cody Fajardo land in Edmonton as a backup? What are the possibilities on Cody Fajardo landing in Edmonton?
I don't know. If you're Cody Fajardo, are you going to want to be QB2?
Well, he doesn't have a choice in Montreal.
Yeah.
He's already been pushed out to QB2. So do you want to be QB2 in Montreal, or do you want to be QB2 in Edmonton?
I don't know. I really don't know if he would.
Because he's not going back to Saskatchewan. Toronto Argonauts have their starter. Yeah. Hamilton has MOP worthy Bo Levi Mitchell. Ottawa has Drew Brown, who they're sticking with. BC has Nathan Rourke. You see where I'm going with this?
There's not much. There's not a lot of movement there. There's not much for them to do. And I mean, we kind of saw this even with MBT. Like, where does MBT go?
Where does MBT go? I think he might actually be going to the UFL, or he's a backup somewhere.
Retired.
And I can tell you he is not a big fan of Edmonton.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy because you have a lot of these names. Yeah, you have a lot of these names that, I mean, by all means, they're not bad. I mean, if you're talking in paper and stats, like MBT, like even Cody Fajardo, they're really good quarterbacks. Yeah. But the reality is that now they're starting, a lot of these newer quarterbacks are starting to move into these starting positions. And what do you do with these old guys? I mean, really, what do you do with them? If they don't want to be QB2, what do you do?
Well, and I mean, MBT did say that he had a rough season on and off the turf. So that's, maybe he actually does like the city. I know that he was up here with his daughter, and I think his wife as well, and everything. Right. But they definitely aren't putting any stock in Edmonton. Like they're they're definitely back down south.
MBT to the XFL.
UFL. That's what I was thinking. Maybe he goes back to the New Orleans Breakers or whatever.
If I'm back up, I'm going to Montreal.
Yeah,
interesting.
So, Cole here saying about Fajardo. He has to be QB2. Ford has a high chance to be injured. Fajardo comes here.
That's true.
And that's what I was thinking about that thought today. How do you sell Fajardo on coming to Edmonton?
Right?
Seriously,
it's like how do you convince him that this is the right move to do?
No, and how do you do it? Well, you say, hey, look, Trey Ford tends to get injured. We're depending on you potentially as a tandem.
Right.
This is the starter. This is the designated starter. Trey Ford is the starter, but we do recognize that there's a very high chance that Trey Ford gets injured. And you know what? If you're Trey Ford, you recognize that too.
Yeah.
Unless you fix your lack of sliding, and unless you fix certain pieces of your game that tend to get you injured, it's easy to predict an injury, right? So it'll be interesting to see how Trey Ford does this offseason as far as development, as far as learning better skills and learning better reactions. I do think that Trey Ford stays in Edmonton at this rate. Because once again, the same conversation as Fajardo, where does Trey Ford go? You're going as a backup anywhere else, and he wants to start. Yeah. Ed Hervey is willing to let him start.
Yeah. For how much? That's the question.
Between 3 and 5.
Yeah,
$300,000 to $500,000 Canadian.
Davis Alexander, he was announced today as a starter for Montreal. Yeah. And he has the starter's wage for 2025 and the 2 years following. And it's starter's wage. It's not, I mean...
He's making $500,000 a year in the CFL.
That's close to what MBT was making, right? So now that's my question. From what I have seen, now don't quote me on these, I think I was just scrolling, and from what I understand, Trey Ford started more games than Davis Alexander.
Yeah.
Now they have they have the same agent. If Davis Alexander is making a certain amount of money,
Yeah.
is he going to be asking for Trey Ford to make more than that?
Well, it's going to be competitive no matter what. That's
Crazy.
the agent's job, right? Will Trey be okay knowing they are gearing to take you off the field once again during your development? Well, based on what Ed Hervey's saying, they're banking on him, right? If we see Trey Ford pulled again for X amount of time and we see this whole scenario unfold again, fool me thrice. You can't tell me something else isn't going on.
Yeah.
And I think everybody wants to see Trey Ford succeed, but there have been a lot of questions about, work ethic or the elite pieces that he may be missing, such as showing up early, staying late for film, XYZ. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speculate anymore on that because we have speculated on it.
Cole over here, you offer 350 to 400K plus incentives.
Marketing incentives. The marketing, which BC Lions are over this
Air
year.
quotes. That's what we're doing for people that are listening. Jamie over here, what about
Jake Mayer? That's a very good question, Jamie. Jake Mayer may also be a backup. He's a backup candidate because you need somebody that's at least rock steady. Jake Mayer's had some pretty bad games this year, but he was also up there in the passing yards category. He was one of the CFL's best passers, I guess, this last season. I don't think in the interceptions category.
Yeah, no, he wasn't so great at that.
No. So
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think we're gonna be hearing in this coming week about the head coaches in the coaching positions for sure. And I really do think that what comes after is going to be the quarterback decision.
I agree. I'm just going to go ahead and confirm that the schedule for those interviews. Oh, it looks like Rouge, White, and Blue might have dropped an episode here tonight.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Okay, so Edmonton Elks head coach interviews. Sorry, for this week.
Okay.
So on Monday it was Buck Pierce. On Tuesday, Rick Campbell, Jordan Maximic. Wednesday today was Mark Killam, and on Friday is Jay Jack. So that is the official word from Justin Dunk. Nice. Sorry, I had that wrong earlier. So we'll for sure
hear next week.
Yes. And then, I guess that's it for the fan forum.
Yeah.
Holy cow, we're at the end of the episode. We're gonna go ahead and close the fan forum.
Yeah.
Close it up.
That was good. That was. Thank you, everybody.
No, that was a ton of fun, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, that was fantastic. Great combo. Once again, if you want to win this CFLPA hat, CFLPA Royal Retros, that's probably one of the most important parts. But really, CFLPA gear since when? Royal Retros brought it to you. If you want one of these, go ahead and text Royal to 780-307-7779. Phone numbers right above. Get yourself one, and especially if you're in Edmonton, you're probably going to get it sooner than later because Canada Post is on strike.
Yes. My Christmas shopping.
It's not funny at all. It actually really sucks. Yes. One less down if you're listening. Might be waiting a little bit longer for that package we talked about on the last episode, but it's coming. So is Santa. Which means our next episode is going to be the holiday special. If you don't win this hat,
you'll have a chance for more.
We got 2 more hats to give away after this one on the holiday special. So make sure you tune in to our next episode. Do we have one of the double E facsimile items kicking around? We do. So for those that cannot see the screen, for those that are listening, we do also have a facsimile piece that we will be giving away as well. TJ Hill facsimile autograph there, but it is a nice little memorabilia piece. So maybe that might be for next year's, Catherine, the other one. But we got lots of giveaways, got a couple other items as well, like we said, from our partners that help us continue onward as Shotgun Sports Network. So very cool. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be December 17th or the 19th. Other than that, though, I think that's it for tonight's episode.
That
I
is
think that's it for season 2. This is crazy. Um, we're gonna miss you guys. I mean, I know that we're gonna be back in 2 weeks for a holiday special, but it's gonna be about a month after that.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be
we'll be around. We'll still continue to post content on social media, so make sure that you're following us there. Um, even though we get a break from the podcast, we don't necessarily get a break from everything else. So
life don't stop over
so,
at the Elks Herd. We'll still be communicating and
mhm,
interacting with everybody. Still be having some fun, and of course, as we get the Double E news, we will be giving it to you
mhm.
over on our social accounts. So make sure you follow the Elks Herd on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, Shotgun Sports as well. Bonus if you go follow Shotgun Sports Network as well, because we're trying to grow that page.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, we'll still be interacting with everybody. Blue Sky, I think Blue Sky is maybe something in the works
Yeah,
for the off
maybe.
season as
Yeah,
well.
X sucks.
We keep getting asked about it. I hate making
I
new
know.
accounts.
It's the whole idea of making something from scratch and building another,
Yeah,
following. Mm, but we may have to. I don't know. We'll see.
we'll see. And shout out to you, Game Day Baby, Cole, Sinjin tonight in the herd chat. Everybody that is in here, Jamie Fadoon, John Kirby, uh,
Marsha
Marsha was in the herd chat tonight. We had quite a
and
few
Chris
people.
Agar, he was in there too.
Chris
Thank you so
Agar.
much.
Yeah, no, guys. Off season sucks. Thank you for tonight. No, thank you, Marsha.
I know off season does suck. I know. Like now, I'm not. I've been really off the hockey lately. I'm not so
Yeah.
into the hockey anymore. I was for like a year and then it just kind of died down. And now it's thinking that football season is done and now I have to wait another 7 months.
Hashtag is it
So,
June yet? It starts
uh,
right now. Is it June yet? No, it's not. It is not even January. It's not even the first
dang.
J. We haven't even made it to December. We haven't even made it to month 12.
It'll go by quick.
Oh, I miss Grey Cup. All right. Miss you all as well. That's all the time we have for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got to thank you once again, the viewer, for tuning in to tonight's show. Whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, or if you're listening on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Edmonton Sports Talk, or your favorite podcatcher, we salute you. Once again, my name is Scout, aka the rep from Section X.
And I'm Catherine, aka Do You Even Elks?
We are the Elks Herd. This was the Elks Call. That was season 2, and we're going to see you all on the holiday special, December 17th to December 19th. Stay tuned to our socials for that info. Guys, thanks a lot for riding with us this year. It's been a blast, and we do it with you for you. Cheers, everybody.
Have a good night.